this video, you'll learn how to properly assemble the Marshalltown wheelbarrow mixer. Remember, you can always consult your operations manual for detailed assembly instructions. A link to a printable copy of this manual can also be found in the description of the video. The first step is to lay out all necessary parts and hardware. Insert 4 hex bolts with the correct hardware into the drawbar, and then insert the drawbar into the drum frame chassis. Fasten using a 14mm wrench and a 14mm socket. Next, we'll attach the first handle using 2 hex bolts, curved washers and flat washers where necessary, and again, a 14mm wrench and 14mm socket. Repeat these same steps for the second handle. Next, we'll attach our wheels to the axle on the drum frame assembly. Insert one wheel and fasten it in place with a cotter pin. Repeat these steps for the second wheel. It's now time to mount the engine on the drum frame assembly. Firstly, remove the nuts and washers from the motor studs and install the motor with the black box facing up. Reattach the motor's hardware and fasten it tightly to the frame using a 10mm wrench. Next, we'll assemble our drum. Insert 2 of the 4 thicker metric 12 bolts and washers into one side of the drum. Place rubber washers onto the bolts from the inside of the drum. Be sure and install the blades with the short side facing the outside of the drum and the long side facing the inside of the drum. Use the corresponding washers and nuts to tighten the blade to the interior of the drum. Use a 19mm wrench and a 19mm socket. Install the second blade using the same process with the remaining hardware. Use a standard screwdriver to align the set screw perpendicular to the mixer frame. Note the corner diagram. Connecting the drum to the frame requires that the set screw on the motor spindle be in the correct position. Place 2 washers on the bottom center hole in the drum and secure it with the large metric 14 bolt. Use a 22mm socket to tighten the drum to the drum frame. Next, we'll attach the motor hood. Place screws through the mounting holes on each side of the hood and mount it to the frame securely with the respective washers and nuts. Use a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm wrench to fully fasten the hood to the mixer assembly. Now it's time to lay out all parts to our pedestal. Identify the 2 legs with the high mounting holes. These will be secured opposite of each other through the corresponding holes on the pedestal's center mount. Attach the legs with the long hex bolts and curved washers. Use a 14mm wrench and 14mm socket to fasten. Attach the remaining legs with lower drill holes to the remaining 2 holes in the pedestal's center mount using the same fastening method. To mount the mixer to the pedestal, it's easiest to lay the mixer flat. When the pedestal is inserted, grab the mixer handles and carefully lift the mixer into the upright position. Your Marshalltown wheelbarrow mixer is now ready to tackle the job site.